Alright everyone, we're standing on the corner of 28th Street and 6th Avenue, and we're looking at this picture-perfect view of the Empire State Building. We're going to be walking all the way back to 42nd Street, Grand Central Terminal. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started on this Saturday night. Now, I ordered this coffee real quick for the commute because I wanted to see show all of you a little bit of the ordering process and the pickup process for Luckin coffee. Now, it's very simple. All you do is kind of just scan a QR code for the pickup, and that kind of just unlocks your drink, and then you could just take it and go. So I'll give a little bit of a tutorial on how that works as we do a little bit of market research here. But this is how the app looks. And you just scan that QR code and you should be good to go. This is the location in between 27th and 28th Street. Let's see if it's ready. So technically the price will be similar to the other competitors, but they just hammer you with all of these like 30% off coupons, 40% off coupons. Like you can see 30% here, and it'll say it expires in 5 hours, but it really never expires. Okay, we're now going to head north. This is 28th Street. Can even see the top of One Penn Plaza. So once we get to 32nd Street, if you make a left, that'll bring you towards 32nd Street, just the start of Penn Station and the brand new entrance to Madison Square Garden. You're going to see a lot of foot traffic pick up once we get near Koreatown. That's where many of the restaurants are. could also get the PATH train here too. This is the 33rd Street entrance to PATH train. Oh wow, this is a Haiti. Or T-Pulse, excuse me. Wow, they are opening up a lot of locations across New York City. It says tea, coffee, and donuts. I don't really remember the last time. I don't really remember them selling donuts though, because I've been to the T-Pulse on Prince Street in Flushing, Queens, and I think they also have one on Northern Boulevard in Bayside. Interesting. Yeah, T-Pulse. You'll have to keep an eye on this. They've even just opened up a location in Chinatown in New York, well, in Manhattan. Okay, yeah, they show them here. Yeah, Doyer Street in Chinatown. Then, of course, you have the one in Flushing and in Bayside. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think there's going to be a glut of supply on the market in terms of these different tea shops? Coming up to 31st Street now. A lot of people really like the Gregory coffee, but I've never really been a big fan.
I remember that.
I find their coffee to be a little bit too bitter. Noticing a lot more restaurants opening up on 6th Avenue. Like here you can see a relatively new one. Usually restaurants don't do well on 6th Avenue south of 32nd Street for whatever reason. I've seen so many restaurants come and go in this little corridor. For whatever reason, they can't seem to stay open. I don't know if it's the lack of foot traffic or what, but for whatever reason, this 32nd Street south on 6th Avenue, anytime you open a restaurant in one of those retail storefronts, I don't know, never does well. I hope they do well. This is now looking over towards Penn Station. And here you can see the Gimbal Sky Bridge. Gimbals was the competitor to Macy's back in the day. This is now the second entrance to the PATH train. The PATH train, you'll be able to go out to New Jersey. I think next week on the program we'll probably film a few videos from Hoboken, New Jersey, as well as Jersey City. All right, we're now at 33rd Street. You know what? There's a really good, I don't know how to say the type of cuisine, but it's like a good sushi spot. And they actually have pretty good $15 ramen right down here. And it's open late. It's open till like 1 a.m. It's not bad. I forget the name, but it's just across the street from Jack Dempsey's, which is a bar. And then you can see the Empire State Building. And then, of course, this is that new stock trading app, Mumu, which is, I guess, apparently opening up this retail, this storefront. Maybe it's like a media play. They'll open up like a broadcasting center and do shows and things like that to kind of market their app. I can't imagine it's going to be a long-term lease. They probably negotiated some sort of short-term lease there because this used to be a GameStop, believe it or not. I'm not too sure if you guys remember that, but right in here where this stock and cryptocurrency trading app is going to go, the last tenant they had was GameStop that closed down. I mean, my God, it must be, a year ago now. We've also now entered the pedestrian flow zone, for what that's worth. Don't ask me what that is. I have no idea. Now looking right at Herald Square, 34th Street, Macy's. BDFM NQRW.
Let's go.
I used to get on the BD train and head down to Chinatown, Grand Street. Right as you get off the BD train at Grand Street, there's a soccer field above the train station. There's a lot of good restaurants there. This is now 35th. You're going to be able to see the Harrier building. The spire of Bank of America Tower as well.
Like, I think about.
during the pandemic, this entire block was pretty much vacant. Now, looks like they have full occupancy and the stores are doing pretty well too. This is a Japanese convenience store here. Been in there many times. However, it doesn't quite have the prices as they do in Japan, obviously. Maybe we'll take a quick detour and check out how Times Square looks tonight. We haven't been there since the New Year's Day ball drop. New Year's Eve ball drop into New Year's Day. Headed up about to pass the Bank of China. I'm also curious to see if Joe's Pizza is going to be busy tonight. They've just recently opened up a brand new location of Joe's in South Beach. So you now have two locations, I believe, one in Wynwood and one just off of Lincoln Road in Miami. You can see all the snow plows were out. It's actually snowing pretty hard in New York City earlier today. And I think it's supposed to start again right at around 1 o'clock in the morning. That was a nice Tesla. Now, I don't know if it's just me, but I mean, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I was looking at prices on Tesla, and it seems like they've gone up significantly, particularly for the leasing. I think if you want to lease a Tesla Model X, I believe it's well over, I think it's like $1,800 a month or something crazy. I'll have to look that up. But I could have sworn like some of the, like the Model 3 or the Model Y used to be like $299 a lease. I don't know, I'll have to look that up. And like the Cybertruck, I think the base model is like $100 grand. All right, let's make a quick detour here, everyone, since we have the light. We'll walk over by the Bank of China, as well as the La Colombe coffee shop. This is a really nice cityscape view, looking at One Vanderbilt, as well as 270 Park. There's usually a garbage can over here, but I haven't seen garbage bins for like 4 blocks now. Maybe they removed them. I mean, look at how packed the restaurants are. The dining room here looks great. Still pretty busy, even though it's after the holidays. All right, everyone, I'm really curious about the Tesla now. But I could have swore the last time I looked it up. Okay, it says the Model Y you could lease from $459 a month. The Model 3 from $449 a month. Let's see about the Tesla Model X. Let's look at the all-time offers. Well, let me pull off to this side here by the Salesforce Tower. So this is what we got for the Tesla Model Y. Standard is about 38 grand, and the all performance is about 56,000. That doesn't seem too bad. But I could have sworn they were way cheaper than that. All right, let me check their lease offers. All right, we'll bang this left. Head into Times Square. All right, so it shows the new Model Y, $459 a month with the lease, and then it goes up from there for the more premium options. Let's see the Model X. $1,500 a month for the lease. That's a lot. $1,500 a month for the Model X on a lease. Now, here's the reason why I'm talking about it, because I'm technically in the market for a vehicle, but I don't think I would ever buy a Tesla, and I've been kind of going back and forth on this as we look up at the H&M building. It's just that the technology nowadays is just too advanced, and it's becoming even more advanced by the day at breakneck speeds. So I would much rather lease the vehicle for, let's say, 36 months, and then I just trade it in and get the new product. But if I were to buy it, you know, in 3 years the car is going to be obsolete anyway. And if I wanted to sell it, it'll probably lost significant value. So I got to see. But, you know, almost $1,600 a month for the basic Model X. That's pretty steep. Let me know what your thoughts are. However, the new Lucid, I was looking at the Lucid SUV, and that vehicle looks really, really nice. So Tesla definitely does have some competition. However, I believe with the new Optimus humanoid robot, that's totally going to differentiate the company. And over time, I'm actually expecting the Optimus robot, just that section of the business, to have a larger valuation than the vehicle side, than actually manufacturing and selling EVs. Make this left just to check on Joe's Pizza. Okay, the Model 3 apparently you could lease for $419 a month. That's probably the very basic Model 3, which doesn't seem that bad.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, because it's really.
This is now 41st Street and Broadway. There's the snowplows again. It does look like the line for Joe's is crazy. Wow. I always like seeing all the boxes. It's packed. It's funny because whenever I walk past the Fulton Street location in Lower Manhattan, which is looking right at the World Trade Center, there's never really any line. I know that this one is, the original by
You're not going to see it. Oh, it's a line? Holy shit.
It's good.
Times Square. However, if you go down to Fulton Street, there'll be definitely no line. It appears to go all the way to 40th Street, and it wraps around the block a little bit.
I agree.
Wow. Wraps all the way this way. Not for nothing though, there is this dollar slice pizza spot that is the second best dollar slice pizza in the city, which is objectively good pizza. It's a little strange. It's right here.
I used to be an OEO before I abandoned virtually.
Yeah, this one's always packed, but regular slice 150, pepperoni slice 225. Oh my, that's wild. That a dollar slice pizza place, if you just pepperoni slice 225, that is crazy. I mean, I remember as a kid you could get a regular slice of pizza for like $2. Now if you go to, I mean, most places in the city now, if you just want a regular slice of cheese, it's going to be, you know, $4 and up. Some places are like $4.50, $5. It's really nuts. I mean, just for a slice of pizza, that's crazy. And it looks like all the 99-cent pizza places, everybody's come together and decided to officially change the signage to $1.50. I'll tell you, within my lifetime, you're probably going to see it read $5 pizza. You know, maybe by the time I'm like 80, 75, 80, everything will change their signs to $5 a slice for the cheap, nonsensical pizza. Those police officers must be absolutely freezing. I give them a lot of credit for, especially for standing out on New Year's Eve, because this year, or last year, 2025, it was snowing on New Year's Eve. It was freezing. Now passing the Red Lobster. Now we are on the corner of 42nd Street, where you're looking at One Times Square, as well as the main subway terminal. One Times Square now is a observation deck and a museum. This is obviously where they dropped the ball on New Year's Eve. Looks like this guy got stuck in the middle, which is a bummer because now there's cameras now, and the tickets are pretty steep for quote-unquote blocking the box.
Subway, right here, baby.
headed up towards the Raising Cane's. You're also going to see the NASDAQ. This is 43rd Street. You also can see the Hard Rock Cafe. 7th Avenue now.
I also took it down. I took it down.
We'll wait here on the corner and cross. This is the New York City Police Department, the main precinct in Times Square. And of course, also looking at the NASDAQ, and the spire of the H&M. It's still packed for sure, but definitely a lot less people. This is the U.S. Armed Forces recruiting station here. And then this is looking northbound into Times Square. As I point the camera to the top of one Times Square, you can now see the 2026 numerals along with the observation deck.
With Joe's.
You have the National Debt Clock to the right, and we're going to continue all the way until we hit right into the one and only Grand Central Terminal. You could just kind of use the One Vanderbilt building as a guidepost of sorts to figure out where you're going.
Oh, yeah?
Now we're approaching 6th Avenue again. You're going to see the Steinway piano and a really good view of the Empire State Building. Ooh. Oh, she's all right. Jeez. Picture perfect shot of the Empire here. It's one of my favorite vantage points to see it. Wow, with the clouds in the background, looks fantastic. We'll go ahead and make a left here on 42nd Street and 6th and start to walk over to Park Avenue, where we will enter Grand Central Terminal. The Radiator Building is also another one of my favorite Art Deco buildings that overlooks Bryant Park. I wonder what this place is going to be. Looks like a new restaurant. They have all the blinds drawn though. Of course, we have Bryant Park to our right. For whatever reason, this material gets unbelievably slippery here. Now passing the SUNY College of Optometry. And you have the Stephen Schwartzman building to your right.
Happens to be over the summer.
We're now going to come up right on the intersection of 5th Avenue. the M42 crosstown bus. Maybe we'll take a little bit of a shortcut, as this is a little bit more of the scenic view, because you can see the Chrysler building as you're approaching Grand Central Terminal from the northern, or I should say the southernmost side of the street. And there you can see Chrysler and one Vanderbilt. Look at this beagle here. Hello. Now approaching Madison, you're going to have a cool shot of Pershing Square. And then of course you'll see the Grand Hyatt, which is that black building right in front of the Chrysler building, which is then going to be torn down. And in its place is going to be 175 Park Avenue, which apparently is supposed to stand 1,580 feet tall. It's going to be tremendous. It's going to be taller than Central Park Tower, which is completely going to obstruct the Chrysler building. But I guess that's how things change in New York. Standing right under one Vanderbilt just really gives some perspective on how tremendous the building is, and to think that 175 Park's going to be even bigger is by a pretty large margin too. If you look at the renderings online, the exoskeleton, particularly at the base of the building, looks similar to 270 Park in a way. I always like walking on the outside of the scaffolding because you have the great view of Grand Central Terminal into Pershing Square and up to the Chrysler. And right as we cross here, this is one of my favorite perspectives of Vanderbilt Avenue. And looking down towards Pershing Square, even seeing all the way over towards Tudor City as well. I'm going to walk down to the main concourse, which should be very recognizable to all of you. If you were to go down towards tracks 100 to 117, that's where you'll find the Whisper Wall, as well as the Grand Central Terminal Oyster Bar. Amazing as we enter the main concourse here.
Attention customers. On Mark.
I think this is one of the most beautiful buildings in New York City. Well, if you guys enjoyed that walk, feel free to subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, and as always, we will see you in the next one, and thank you so much for watching. Take care.